Oh God, we're live on YouTube. Shit. Okay. Let me see. This is the first time I've ever like live streamed like my face on YouTube. Let me make sure. Like, can I watch it? Can I look at like my own chat on YouTube? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Oh, what do you mean? I can't look at my. I can't even look at my own broadcast on YouTube. No, I don't wanna. Okay, all right, fine. That's it. We're gonna get started from here. All right, so Ancaps. If you don't know what an Ancap is, don't worry. A lot of people don't, and there's a good reason for that because Ancaps are they're bad. Ancaps are bad. They're pretty bad. And in this video, we're gonna be responding to, doing some commentary on one of my favorite Ancaps on YouTube, on TikTok. Well, he's also on YouTube. This is his YouTube channel. Oh my God, I almost knocked my mic over. Bloopers. Anyways, today we're gonna be reacting to one of my favorite Ancaps of all time. This is Political Minder. I met him from TikTok. Those of you who know me from TikTok, which is pretty much the majority of you probably watching this video right now, probably know me from TikTok. So I really dislike Ancaps and Ancapism. I think let's move this down here. I think it's pretty bad. And I'm gonna show you why. Let's just get started. Okay. That intro was shitty. We're gonna just forget it. I mean, I've already done a video we're doing commentary on Polyminder. Oh, hold on. I need to adjust my headset and everything, adjust my equipment, because I am utter trash. Come on. Plug in. There we go. All right. New JBL headset, everybody. Let's get this show on the road. Hopefully he doesn't go booming through my freaking ears. Good Lord, that would be a travesty. Make sure we keep chat up. All right, which one should we go after first? You know what? He did make a... Yeah, let's go over this democracy as a false god video. We are 3 minutes in and I'm just getting started. Wow.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
In America, we are taught that...
So, I love the casual use of a clip in which a guy is just, casually using the R slur to refer to people. That's always a good sign that the video we're about to watch is a pretty good one, Just open bigotry. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Also, I don't really care if Minder is neurodivergent. Like, that's still... Not everybody knows that. For one, I don't know that. So, like, that's still pretty shitty.
Democracy is the best thing to ever happen to the world since the invention of the wheel. We are taught that democracy is the system for the...
Who said that? Who said that democracy is the greatest invention since the wheel? Like, honestly, who said that? I don't think that that's necessarily, like, a wrong notion, necessarily, but, like, this is the first time I've ever heard somebody ever say, like, democracy is the greatest thing invented since the wheel.
People. We are taught that if we want freedom, democracy is the answer. However, this narrative is completely false. So what is wrong with it? First, we need to go over the flaws of democracy. Number 1, it presupposes the majority opinion is the correct opinion, which is a pretty dangerous idea. The majority of people in the South thought slavery was moral back before the Civil War. Obviously, we can all agree that was a terrible opinion, but it was...
Okay, so Minder likes to do this thing that I like to call comfort arguments, okay? So, I also need to, as a disclaimer, this is the old political minder. This guy gave his account over to the new political minder, and I don't know if he deleted all of his videos or if he just privated all of them. Not 100% certain, nor would I really care. I'm just debunking this BS because it's BS.
That's the majority opinion. Before the gay rights activists, the majority
Wait, hold up. There was something he said about democracy.
agreed that was a terrible opinion, but it was.
Oh yeah, so like I said about comfort arguments. So Minder likes to use these things that I like to call comfort arguments. So they're arguments that he always falls back on because he knows that it'll be very hard for his opponent to argue against them, or at least he knows that at first glance, like it's a way for him to kind of like seize control of the conversation, because you'll be stunned by the fact that somebody just brought up like slavery or sexual assault in a conversation that in many cases has nothing to do with those things. I mean, yeah, slavery does have something to do with democracy, but like it wasn't I would make the argument that because Minder's used this on me before when he was talking about like tyranny of the majority, which I believe he gets to later on in this video. I would argue that like, yeah, you could use slavery can be justified in just about like every system. Like as long as especially a system where there is a hierarchy of like the rich and powerful versus the poor and underprivileged, there's a very good chance that slavery is going to take place. But I would argue that it's not until democracy is involved, it's not until the people's voices are considered, that things like slavery get eradicated, or at the very least mitigated, I guess.
The majority opinion. Before the gay rights activists, the majority of people thought being gay was a mental disorder, and now we see that as false. You see, more and more individuals can believe a certain way.
Right, so what we should do then is we should ensure that we are continually adapting as a species, or not even as a species, as a society. That we are continually adapting, continually growing, continually progressing, continually learning new things as a society, and that we should be welcoming to these new findings and be welcoming to new discoveries instead of just shunning out these discoveries and engaging in a form of anti-intellectualism, which I see a lot of on the right, especially for some really weird reason. These weird Ancap libertarians, a lot of them for some odd reason want to call themselves anti-intellectual. I don't know if that's a joke. I think that it is, but like part of me also feels like it's not a joke. It's one of those, oh yeah, I'm just trolling, bro, but like I actually secretly believe it. Like it's one of those things. So I just think we need to be more open and accepting to these ideas and to new ideas and ideology. And I get the feeling that Minder is not open to that. It's maybe because of the capitalism.
However, the number of individuals who believe that opinion does not determine its validity. Number 2, and this is the major one, tyranny of the majority. Now you may or may not have heard of this critique, but I will give my best explanation of it.
So I want to touch up on. I'm going to try to touch up on this the best that I can about the whole idea that the popular opinion, or that the opinion that everybody comes to is the right opinion, and that is. And because of the fact that I know people that listen to Minder, or people that watch Minder, are usually like philosophy types and theory bros and what have you, how do we know for a fact that what we believe in is right or is true, is correct, etc.? Like, how do we know that? We really don't. So throughout, and I hope this doesn't cause anybody to have like existential dread or whatever, or what have you, but throughout human history and human development, we've kind of just been throwing darts at shit to see what sticks and see what works. And then we take what works and we continue doing that thing. One of the things that we decided really works, or that we've seen good results for, is living together, living communally, living within a community, togetherness, and making sure that every voice is at the very least heard. Democracy. That is what we have decided just works best. So there's this whole like slippery, I guess you want to call it, I guess I could call it like a slippery slope that I see a lot of Ancaps, I feel, are like finding themselves, or a lot of people like Minder are finding themselves in, where they, they kind of just keep things up in the air for the sake of argument, but don't understand that, like, well, you can use that for basically everything, I guess, and that just makes arguments very messy.
Democracy, it by definition is a government that is controlled by the people. You often hear, we are the government. But this makes no sense. If that were the case, then the German guys in the 1930s and 40s did not murder the Jews. They simply committed suicide since they were a part of the government. Except we know this is completely false.
No, you can't do this. And this is another thing that I really hate about these types of people, these crypto fascists, like I've titled this stream, who try to debunk democracy by using undemocratic examples and by saying that, oh, well, Adolf was voted in, so it was democracy. Yeah, it was democracy at first until Adolf started becoming a fascist. And no, socialism is not fascist. They used socialism to trick the working class into siding with them and what have you. But the whole point was that they were saying that a certain aspect of their society was beneath them and that they were not basically a part of their government. They were not a part of their society. They were subhuman. They did not get any rights. And he does this a lot in his videos, I feel like, where he misrepresents events and histories to push a narrative, and it's kind of, it just seems kind of sinister to me in a way. And this is one of the main reasons why I really just do not like this person.
So a better definition is a system in which the government is controlled by the majority of the people. Or should I say influenced, but we'll get to that later. This means that if you try to have a say in what the state should do, it ultimately does not matter if the majority votes against what you want. So the government is...
Exactly. Because say it with me, class, there are people like this guy with very bad and shitty opinions. Exactly.
Is not controlled by everyone, but the majority of the people. A better way to help people understand is putting it like this. In a monarch, one person holds all the power. The system would allow him to do whatever he wants. A lot of people would agree that is tyranny. But when you switch to a democracy, all you do is shift the power from one individual to the majority of the people. The tyranny is still there. It's just more people have a say in this tyranny. Now,
no, I don't agree with that, and here's why. So the thing about democracy, or at least the thing about a true democracy where everybody's voice is heard and what have you, everybody can, like, throw their ideas out there, and we all can, like, vote on whether or not we like that idea or, what have you. But the problem with that, well, not the problem. The thing with that is people like Minder will only say tyranny of the majority is only stated by people who are sore losers, basically. Their ideas have been considered. It's just that they're dog shit, so everybody said no. That's why. Like, people like Minder, if they had their way, we wouldn't have welfare. We would have, like, everything would have a price tag on it that you would have to pay. Like, instead of police being, like, a unanimous force that everybody pays into with taxes, instead, I guess, like, people would pay for individual law enforcement or what have you, or individual protection or what have you. And, that can't lead to any, problems where guys that have the majority of the money can hire the most guards and have the most influence over other... You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I don't think I have to go any further about that. I don't think I have to really go any further with that. But yeah, the thing about people like this is that there are the people who use tyranny of majority. Like I said, they're sore losers. Their ideas have been considered, but they're just dog shit. Society just said no to what they wanted. They said, no, we're not going to enact this hyper-individualistic state where everybody lives separately and there is no sense of actual community and what have you, and yeah, whatever.
Why is this the problem? Well, if the majority wanted to kill the minority, technically democracy allows that. Now, a lot of people might say that this system might have a constitution in place.
So, technically, yes, he is correct. But the thing that I would, the thing that I would suppose is that when everyone's voice is considered, that kind of shit really does not happen. Like, in lots of communal societies or societies that have, like, shifted away from capitalism and what have you, a lot of it is just like, togetherness, or where not even just shifting away from capitalism, but being more democratic, and where everyone's thoughts and feelings are considered and what have you. Shit like that actually does not happen. But shit like that does happen happens a lot more in totalitarian societies, totalitarian far right societies, where and fascist societies. That kind of shit is more likely to happen. You know what I mean? Like, when you, again, if I can go ahead and use Germany from way back when, like our friend here just did. Like, they voted Adolf into office, but at the same time, like, he was a dictator and he completely took over once he was given power. And, it wasn't even that he convinced other people to kill the 1% or whatever, but it's rather he, did it through dictatorial force. Like, is this what happened? Like, are they not teaching this in schools? Like, I just don't. I'm just bewildered as to, like, where people like this get their ideas from. And when he says 1%, does he mean, like, the thing that a lot of anti-capitalists and, like, socialists and revolutionaries and what have you have been saying about, like, eat the rich and shit, and, like, rebelling against the top 1%? Is this really, like, a video where he's just defending the top 1%?
To make sure people's rights are not infringed on. Except you have to realize that the Constitution will not protect you in cases where the majority are against it. The Constitution is literally just a piece of paper stating rules. That's it.
Exactly, and I want to wipe my ass with that piece of paper.
Will not protect you at all. For example, the Second Amendment was meant to keep a power balance between the state and the citizens. Except over time, people who are anti-gun have been trying so hard to change it. From the wording of the Second Amendment.
Wait, no, you can't. No, don't misrepresent things like. Don't misrepresent gun control too in a video. No, dude, it's not. People. Listen. If you actually think that your Magnum is gonna protect you when the SWAT team is knocking your door down and they have shields and body armor and all kind of shit to, protect themselves from you, and that, makes them pretty much a mini military, like, just throw the gun away. Just throw it away. You're clearly delusional. But, like, there are a lot of people who unironically, like, I was talking to one of my friends, or I don't think we're friends anymore on Snapchat, but we used to be. He was like, people shouldn't say that the government can just steamroll us because they can't. It's like, no, the government can. Do you have access to drone striking technology or drone strike technology? Do you have access to that? No? Then shut up, okay? If the government wanted to, they could snipe me right now, and I would have like, no say in it. I would have no way of protecting myself. Even, like, oh my god, let me go grab. Oh, I'm already dead. I'm already freaking dead. Like, this whole idea that a lot of people like to bring up, that, like, oh, our guns protect us from the government, is a false one. Motherfucker, do you have planes? Like, do you have like planes with guns and shit on them? Do you have tanks? Do you have armored vehicles? No, you don't? Well, guess what? The government can steamroll you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I don't really like it, which is why I say maybe we wouldn't, like, need to fear that, like, if we took some of that money away and put it towards, improving society with social programs and what have you. Maybe, I don't know.
To trying to change the definition of what a firearm means. And slowly over time, the right to bear arms.
Well, because firearms have changed over the years. I mean, way back during the Revolutionary War and shit, like, back then, it was like one shot, and it wasn't even really like a bullet. It was like pellets and stuff. It was like one shot, and then you had to, like, duck down and then, like, fall back to the back of the line and then take a stick, pour powder in your gun, and, like, it took you 5 years to like reload your gun. Now you can just walk into a crowd of people and just open fire and everybody's dead. Like, just pull the trigger once and just hold the trigger for a couple seconds and literally everybody's dead. Like, it's this is why pages like this infuriate me, because it's this sheer lack of nuance and this, like, not paying attention to detail that allows these people to forward their agendas. But, like, when you put nuance and context to it, they have no argument.
Arms is being infringed on. In democracy, if the majority wants something, it will happen. The worst part about it is, even if you do not want to participate, even if you do not want to be a part of the government, it will still be shoved down your throat. Which I guess that is in every kind of system, but it just adds insult to injury by saying you have a say in it. I think this picture...
But again, 4 of 5 citizens love democracy. Okay, but like, why doesn't this guy like democracy? Like, again, what's the context here? Why are they beating him? Are they beating him because he's a slave and he's deemed as like subhuman, which is wrong? Or are they beating him because this guy is the ruler who like was oppressing these 4 people for generation upon generation? Like, come on now. Again, context, nuance, it's lost on people like this.
Best simplifies what I'm trying to say, which leads me to my last point. Why is democracy so popular?
No, Minder, it really didn't. It really did not emphasize clearly what you were trying to say. It was a very bad and very poor attempt, if anything. It was because, again, there was no context to it. Absolutely no context.
Why do we view it as this god? Well, I believe Murray Rothbard describes it perfectly. In his book, Anatomy of the State, it describes how in democracy, the phrase "we are..."
This is an appeal to authority fallacy, which Minder also accused me of in one of our many talks about abortion. This is an appeal to authority fallacy.
The government has enabled a quote ideological camouflage among the people. Individuals genuinely believe they are a part of the government. That is why they love it so much. But people have to understand that they are not a part of the state. They have influence in it, but you have to understand that there is a distinction from you as an individual and...
Maybe that's because here in the US we don't actually have really any say on anything while still being wrapped in the guise of democracy. The United States isn't a true democracy. Like, that's why people really have no influence or no say. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, again, it's as though he just takes context and just throws it out the window every time. Every time. With every video, every topic, he just takes context and nuance and just says, nope, that doesn't mean anything. That's not important at all. Get rid of it. God damn.
The state. Now a lot of people are going to be coming down my throat asking me what's the solution? Tyranny of the minority? Well, I'll be talking about that in a completely different video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. I would very much appreciate.
He did not talk about this in another video, by the way. I don't think he ever uploaded a video about like what his alternative is to democracy, and it's because I don't think he actually has a set in stone good alternative to democracy. And the reason why he doesn't is because like in my honest to God opinion, if you are against democracy, you are a fascist. If you are against democracy, you are in favor of fascism, because it's just one or the other. Either the people have a say or somebody else is oppressing them. And you can't sit here and say that we all just live as individuals, because states are inevitable. People lack guidance. The average person, at least, the average citizen lacks guidance. The average citizen lacks direction. So they need, I hate to say this, but many people do need people to tell them what to do, because they don't know what to do. Not everybody knows how to run a society. Not everybody knows how to run or enforce a state or state laws or what have you. Not everybody knows how to do those things. Not everybody knows how to rally people behind them or rally people to their cause, etc., etc. So people are always going to be looking for guidance. So if you were to behead the queen tomorrow, I'm using this just like as a, as an example, if you behead the queen tomorrow, another queen or king or whoever is going to rise up right after, regardless of what you want, because that's just the way in which societies and people operate, and that's just the ways in which they work. But anyways, that's all for this video. Let me know if you guys want me to debunk some more of these videos in the comment section down below. My name is Nadi Limonti. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for notifications as to when I've made another stupid video. But until then, I will see you guys on the next page.